Hey, welcome back to Dark Sorcery. Uriel here. Many of you may not know I am a combat veteran. I also help veterans at a local clinic recover from PTSD, and I also lead PTSD groups. I also discuss and talk about art therapy and also different forms of that. However, because this is an occult topic, I have found other ways of using my gifts in those gifts as well. So I'm going to give you guys a little gold nugget of how I've been able to use my actual gifts in art in my occult practice. And for those that are watching that are artistic and that are very handy at crafts, you might be able to find this within your own gnosis, in looking within and finding gifts within yourself, around you, in your flow, and getting to know you, to express you in your path of awakening, in your flame, and know you and become one with it, and knowing the ancients and becoming alive with it, and be able to incorporate that into your actual practice, in your ritual, your meditation. This is where it actually becomes a part of a living everyday rite of you. So I'm probably going to go more into depth of this in the future. This is just kind of like a preemptive intro to this. But I work with a lot of masks. I don't know if you sit there and look at a lot of my other work and my artwork, but far as art therapy, it's kind of what it is, especially with dealing with PTSD. You pretty much create a mask over your trauma that you have been faced with or dealt with, and you basically come to terms with that. You get to see it through a perception of that, and you recreate it, relive it. You get to re-see those events from a different perspective. But from a perspective of a spiritual outlook, we deal with masks all the time. Deified masks of ourself, of how we see spirit, demons, our own heart, our own mind, different concepts, how we weave those into like a piece of fabric. Every piece of fabric has a thread, but it's all woven together as one. We're the same thing, but in a sense, it's a woven piece, becomes a mask. But this is one of the first ones I had made to literally demonstrate, and this is actually a PTSD mask, but this ultimately is the mask that literally, and this doesn't describe my injuries or anything like this. This is strictly from my PTSD experiences, but on a spiritual side of my PTSD experience. What was pulled out of me, what came back to this side from what I went through, and what still is within me. But I am better because of what is inside of me. And this is what it looks like. I'm not going to put it on. And as you see, the different eyes, those are my actual other sides, my deific sides that are within me. I don't know if you can, the lights shine on that. This is probably one of my actual more favorite ones. And if you want to do something like that, like this mask here, honestly, was a Halloween mask. Most of my other masks, I have a whole wall of masks. All my other masks I actually hand make, but some of them I've actually found some Halloween masks, and I'll take a heat gun and I'll reheat them, remold them to my likings, and I will reshape them, reform them, put caulking on them to retexturize them, and repaint them as I see fit. If you guys want a really cool trick for texturizing, is use regular household caulking. Save you some money, and it's really cheap, especially 99-cent store caulking. But this mask here is truly, this is what I actually use in my bigger rides. But this literally is something I spent a lot of time on, and this I did hand make from scratch, the whole thing. Let's see the. But that's literally my Godhead mask. And sometimes I actually meditate with this as well. But just give you guys a perception, again, of where you could actually physically take your practice. It doesn't matter what you read in a book or what another practitioner really tells you. This is why I know I keep talking about meditation and looking within, but honestly, that is exactly what it's about. The very first person that began this walk, that's where it started. It's exactly where it started. You have to develop that love and that joy within you, that fire, and kindle it and build upon it. Don't get me wrong, it's good to read books and grow in gnosis from books. But is that the absolute? No. Absolutely not. Where do you think those books came from? From others looking from within and knowing themselves. The joy and the love of life is living it and practicing it and applying it and being in the flow. That is what this is all about. If you can't live it, you can't apply it. And if you can't flow within it, my dear brothers and sisters, then my gosh, you are fully constipated with bullshit of this world. And then what are we doing? You're not flowing. That is what I'm trying to get you to understand. It's about flow, connection, being a part of your practice. That is what we're establishing here. Be the practice. Be one with it. You matter. You have to be connected. Just like a battery to a toy that moves. It's a useless toy that does nothing if it doesn't have the battery. It's just an empty object. But once you put that battery in there, it becomes something totally different to the child. It becomes alive, it talks, it moves, it does so many other different things. It changes lives because it's alive. It's moving as one, as energy. It's connected. But if you're separated and not connected and flowing, then you're not living. You're not connected and you're not flowing. You're useless. It doesn't matter what path you're on. You're simply not flowing. That is not life. This is truth. This is what I have for you today. I had no intentions of doing this video today. It's a total surprise. But obviously this is meant for somebody this day. But I'm here to help someone hopefully change your days and your perceptions into new realities. And may you be blessed, and please like and subscribe. For I am Uriel, here to give you wise words, and may you be blessed today, and blessed beasties, and have a blessed day.